Letby Corner.
Chris, there's a lot to talk about in Lucy Letby Corner this week.
You bet your ass.
There's Esther Rantzen, there's a Netflix documentary, there's Dean Doris piping up once again about Letby. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with Esther. Everyone likes hearing from Esther, who was given weeks to live about 10 years ago, as far as I can see. But God bless her for living with lung cancer longer than anybody in history. She's not very popular with a lot of people because the older sister died, I think. Let's not get into that. But she's now taken up the cause of Lucy Letby, which has some wag on Twitter shows that Rantzen is happy for people to be bumped off at either end of life. But she wrote an article.
Nothing if not consistent.
She wrote an article for the Sunday Times. It has a hell of a start. The first paragraph of this, let me read you.
Please.
Now, I mentioned that the Traitors was going to return, didn't I, in this episode?
You teased this
here we
particular
go.
detail.
Everyone's obsessed with the Traitors. Like millions of others, Esther writes, I avidly watched the BBC series The Traitors, not because it was entertaining, quite the reverse, because it was so serious. It showed that even retired police officers could not tell the difference between those who tell the truth and those who lie. It showed that fragments of evidence can be lost and overwhelmed by gut feelings and herd instinct. And it prompted in me the thought that we urgently need to re-examine the case of Lucy Letby.
That's a leap.
So that's how she's got on board the Letby bandwagon.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big fan of the Traitors, but a lot of the Traitors is people being rather naive and not spotting obvious signs that somebody is guilty. You could say it works either way, you know. It in general just shows that people are not very good at telling when someone's lying or not, and taken in by fairly superficial things like being relatively young and blonde and seeming quite normal, but in actual fact you're a ruthless liar, or by analogy, a serial killer. So anyway, Esther, for some reason, has gone on board. She wrote a kind of boilerplate, here's a reason I think she might be innocent kind of thing. Hitchens, of course, has been carrying on. Nadine Dorris has been in a frenzy of activity about this. She's been on every TV program going, writing articles. I used to be a nurse. I think Letby's innocent. This is all because Netflix have a new documentary out.
So it all ties together.
I think it must be. I mean, she has a PR company working for her, Molten PR, who put out a tweet a week ago boasting, in fact, about the fact that they'd got front page coverage on The Sun. In that instance, it was a retired copper, who had caught Beverly Allett, another murderous nurse. And he reckons now that Letby's innocent, even though he said at the time of her conviction that it's just like Beverly Allett, so many parallels and all this. So yeah, the Lebbyists have been all over the place trying to sort of spike the documentary. And I couldn't understand why they were so nervous about this documentary, because most of the documentaries have been either very even-handed or actively pro-Lebbyist. The Channel 5 ones and the ITV one was incredibly pro-Lebbyist. And there was nothing in the trailer that suggested that this was going to be any different. Anyway, it is actually quite good. And if I'm saying that, I suppose they think it is kind of anti-Lebbyist. But I mean, it's 90 minutes long. And they give the Lebbyists a good crack of the whip. They get the last half hour pretty much to themselves. I thought it was quite a balanced documentary, probably the best one that's been made yet. Got some new footage in it, which is quite interesting to people like me. So yeah, I'd recommend it. It's called The Investigation of Lucy Letby on Netflix. But yes, there's been a lot of activity. Letby's parents have come out of the woodwork for the first time, saying we're not happy with Netflix for showing our house on TV.
Oh yeah, there was some footage, wasn't there?
There's a lot of
body cam footage, or
body cam footage. Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of that. I mean, the Lebbyists were going crazy about it, going, "Oh my God, they're showing Lucy Letby in her pajamas being arrested." It's like, okay, well,
not our Lucy.
I don't care about her feelings really.
Like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it was a bit kind of pointlessly voyeuristic, I thought. And so the Mama and Papa Letby were saying, "This is not fair. We have to live in this house. We're going to have ghouls coming round." And I don't know if they will or not. I think they should just charge people a tenner to have a look around the bedroom.
Well, the kind of attention they're going to attract from the obsessors is people wanting to lay flowers, pay their respects to Letby. So I think it will, we won't get the kind of...
So just charge them at the door and say, come on in.
Hello, Peter, nice to see you again.
Guided tour, yeah. Hello, Nadine. Good, nice to see you again. So yeah, look, it's been very busy and shows no sign of slowing down. I said, I think 2 weeks ago that this is probably going to be a fallow period, but of course, no. Like the day after Netflix announced it was going to be a documentary. Any opinion about Letby?
Not an awful lot, but on the traitors point, I think it's...
Well, that's what people really care about.
Exactly.
It's quite silly to base your opinions on a criminal case based on a TV show, particularly on the fact that the traitors is not evidence-based. No. They're not making those decisions to vote out traitors based on any real evidence. It's all vibes.
It's gut instinct.
It's gut instinct.
Hunch, and then they all go with the flow, which is exactly what Esther Rantzen's doing now, as far as I can see.
And I don't know an awful lot about the Lucy Letby case. I'm afraid I'm one of those people that's been living under a rock about it. But I think it's a matter for just letting the criminal justice system do what the criminal justice system should do and look at the evidence, try her amongst a jury of her peers, and she was found guilty on the evidence presented to them. If there's new evidence that comes to light, maybe there is a case for reopening the case, but as it stands at the moment, she was tried, she was found guilty on the evidence. It's not vibes-based.
So you're not impressed by the fact that 75% of Sun readers in non-line poll said that she was innocent? Because Pete Hitchens got very excited about that.
Yeah, the worm is turning. That's like
the momentum is all with us now.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a matter of most people, myself included, don't know all of the facts, don't know all of the evidence. Even probably people within the courtroom didn't know all of the facts and evidence. But
nobody saw her do anything. Huh? You ever thought about that? No one saw her do anything. Unlike every other murderer in history.
Yeah, usually in broad daylight.
She did it secretly.
10 witnesses. Yeah.
She did it in secret. Unbelievably devious.
Yeah. Well,
we do seem to live in the golden age of people making up their opinions based on television shows, though. So we've got traitors, adolescents. There must be a third one. You need a third one, otherwise it's not a trend.
Well, I think like Making a Murder and all these Netflix things about people being wrongly accused.
Yeah.
Like people binged on them during COVID, didn't they? And then COVID ended and the Letby case started quite soon afterwards.
They all
and I think there's a connection. Yeah. I think people kind of got into this true crime. And don't get me wrong, I like a bit of true crime on Netflix. And Netflix is a home of true crime. And in a way, it's right that they're now doing Letby documentaries. But I think people were primed for a wrongful conviction case. And it's almost as soon as COVID ended, this one began.
Yeah.
And also there's a clear connection between like the, anti-vax, anti-lockdown kind of extremists, it's just the flu type people, immediately latched onto Letby. David Davis, Nadine Dorris, Peter Hitchens. It's the same cast and crew.